Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I had the discipline group, okay? So I had to discipline. I put him on the hip sled. Man, I had this guy one day on the hip sled. Man, he got beads of sweat coming out on him. And the guy that was assistant before me goes, man, you really don't care, do you? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you know who you're working the dog out up there? I said, yeah, Steven Jones. He plays outside linebacker. He goes, you know who that is? I said, back then I didn't know. He said, Jerry. I said, Jerry who? Jerry Jones. I said, okay, love to meet him.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record.
You order something and it takes forever to get here. I mean, you track it on the boat, the whole deal. It finally gets here. What you thought it was going to be. That happens to me quite.
Yeah.
Take the Sing-O-Matic, for example. I thought it was a show changer, and it's not. And it won't be.
Take the sidecar I ordered for my motorcycle, for example. Can you imagine if Chuck had a secret life in which he drives a motorcycle with a sidecar?
That would be huge.
That would be awesome. Oh, he shows up for bikes, blues, and barbecue one time in a motorcycle with a sidecar.
I've seen him down there with sidecars before.
We will get into the 9-game schedule. This is it. The SEC is going to go to 9 games.
Yeah, they are.
It broke in the middle of the afternoon yesterday.
It seemed inevitable. A couple of years ago, a year ago, it just seemed like it was going to happen next week. And then you would hear coaches and ADs say, well, I don't know. I'm not really for this. And there didn't seem to be a consensus. And so there were points where it kind of looked like it was just going to get kicked down the road. And then all of a sudden, yesterday afternoon, bang, we got a 9-game schedule.
There it is. It was about happy hour, wasn't it? It wasn't in the middle of the afternoon. It was as the day was coming to an end. And
as cocktails were being served.
I had a busy day yesterday, and I just didn't have time for it.
I got you.
I think I saw it, and I said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Bart will tell me all about it. And here he is now in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. But I can't wait to hear all about America's team and you watching the Dallas Cowboys documentary on Jerry Jones.
Really good.
He gets better.
If you're a Cowboys fan, you'll go through the range of emotions as you watch it. I mean, you really will. I did, anyway. I think it's great. I can't wait to get home and watch the rest of it.
Could we do one of those on the history of Razorback football?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the history of the Chuck and Bo show.
Well, we're coming up on our 1 year here.
Yeah,
We're 4 days away.
You know, I actually was thinking about that to an extent. You know, a lot of it's video footage, what's available. Yeah, you could. It wouldn't be as juicy. I mean, I got to tell you, you can say whatever you want to about the Cowboys, and they've not won, and they've not been to the Super Bowl and all this stuff, but nobody does drama like the Cowboys. Nobody does drama like Jerry. I mean, just the way he speaks, I mean, he knows exactly how to make something sound dramatic when it's really not. I mean, he is the master of that. And, it's great. It's great television.
And it's real. Like, they get into the weeds. It's stuff that people normally wouldn't talk about.
No, you're right.
Talking about.
Well, and it's like when you have something like this, the people that they're interviewing know that they're expected to say some things maybe they wouldn't say if they were talking to the local television affiliate or even if they were talking to ESPN. You know there's going to be something juicy in there. And, you know, Jerry Jones and Jimmy and you know, I'm at the point now where Jimmy's about to get fired. And it's really kind of exploring the ego battle between the two. And they're just exactly alike. That's the issue. I mean, they're exactly alike in terms of the size of their egos. And it just, the room wasn't big enough.
Reminds me of you and me.
Yeah, but we got a big room. We got a big room.
That was, if you want to talk historically, is that one of the biggest, most impactful breakups in sports?
Yes.
What would the Cowboys have been if they could have just coexisted? If they could have continued to do the things that got them to where they were?
They could have won for a while. Now, nothing lasts forever, but they could have won for a while. They would have, you know, they would have gone back to the Super Bowl again, I'm sure. They won it the next year with Switzer.
They were good for each other, really, if they stayed in their lane, you know, like.
Well, the whole deal at the start was very simple. I'll run the business, you run the football. Yeah. You know, if they just stuck to that, everything would have been fine.
So it's Jerry's fault.
You know, I've always gone through my life thinking it's Jerry's fault. After watching it, might have been Jimmy's.
Really?
Yeah. Big ego.
Yeah.
All of them have big but my point is that they're both just alike. They would have people that would comment. Wannstedt talked about Jimmy a lot. And all the things he said were all the things everyone's always said about Jerry. I mean, they're just big egos. And a lot of it boiled down to who gets the credit. Whose idea was the Herschel Walker trade. All that. It seems petty. I mean, it is petty. But it was also very real.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would highly recommend it, particularly if you're a Cowboys fan.
I haven't gotten that far. I'm excited to watch it. Yeah, but I could tell the whole thing was going to be great by the first episode, just the way it's done.
I watched the first episode at 6 o'clock last night, and it was close to 11 before I wrapped it up.
Chuck spent the evening feeling the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I went through just the myriad of emotions.
That's a good binge.
That is a good 5 hours.
That was a good binge.
You went on a binger last night.
It was a nice run.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I can't wait to watch it. We'll have to.
We got the weekend now.
We got to get some more sound bites.
Once that Iowa State-Kansas State game gets boring, which is probably mid-second quarter.
That should probably be a good game. Don't you think that'll be a good game?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Bart, what do you have that game pegged at?
In terms of interest or
good game, not a good game?
Overall, the overall
What's
picture.
The number in
interest, quality of game, the whole deal.
Who's favored by how much? I know we've got Zach Gillum of Oaklawn Sports later in the show. But
where's your money, Bart?
I haven't decided on that game yet. I haven't decided.
Man, you're just a ball of fire this morning,
Kansas
Bart.
State's a 3.5-point favorite. I don't love that. So I'd probably go with Iowa State.
So it could be a good game.
Yeah,
we're expecting
a
competitive game.
Competitive and good are different.
That's fair.
You're playing a game in an unfamiliar environment for both teams, so there'll probably be some wacky stuff that happens, and so I would expect it to be a close game. Yeah, I personally think I think Kansas State's very overrated this year. I
remember you saying.
I think Iowa State is as good, if not better, than they are. So we'll see.
How are you this morning, Bart?
I've been better, but
Yeah.
we're okay.
I mean, is it health related, or is it mood related, or is it the
I
clock?
I don't feel great, but
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
here. We're fighting through it.
You are.
Sound like you're fighting.
Well, he wasn't feeling great yesterday.
Really?
And then the clock came in, and he came in to work on it, and it didn't go well.
Just compounded
usually,
everything.
Bart's the only person here, usually, from 5:30, 5:40 to 5 o'clock at night.
Bart cares.
He's a 12-hour day guy.
Bart cares.
He packs a lunch. He
I know
won't
he
even
does.
leave for lunch.
I know.
He'll pack a lunch. I mean,
Things to
steady
get
Eddie. Things have to get done.
I know.
And so you notice when he doesn't have that pep in his step.
Well, I just
and
assumed
things
yesterday
aren't
was a
getting
long
done.
day. We're going to get to this 9-game schedule, though, here in a minute. We're going to say, Bart, thoughts.
I know I was
And
I was
away
kinda,
he's gonna
I was
go.
kind of just holding out
Yeah,
for a minute. I wanted to
yeah.
get the show sort of
No,
rolling
I
a little
understand.
bit.
I understand.
We could have dove right in on that. But so the SEC's decided they're going to go to a 9-conference
That's what I've heard.
9-game schedule, conference schedule, and I've got thoughts too. I think we're ruining college football. I think because we're not including enough fan bases. College football needs to realize that for the same
I agree with
6
that
to
part.
12 teams to win every year isn't great for the game anymore. I don't know if it ever was.
Rich guys in suits chasing more money. That is what's happened to college football. Rich guys in suits chasing more money. Greedy people being greedy. That's what's happened. That's what's happened.
There you go.
Drinkwitz brought this
settled it
up
right
the
there.
other day, and we all love Drinkwitz, but
We sure do.
you
It
know,
doesn't always seem like it.
he was
but we
talking
do.
about he was basically saying we got to give more people, more teams, more programs. We got to get to the point where they feel like they've got a chance. Now everybody took that as he's saying expand the playoff. I didn't take it that way at all. I took it as we got to find a way in college football for more than about 8 or 10 teams at the start of the season to feel like they've got a real chance to win something. Getting to the playoff, things, having some hope, having something to sell. Those things are important. We're going to hear a lot from Sankey during the show today. Everybody talks about maintaining rivalries. I want to hear something about competitive balance. Those are 2 words you never hear come out of anybody's mouth when it comes to expanding the SEC schedule. If it's going to be like pro sports, well, take some cues from pro sports. Take some cues in the way they handle their scheduling. The competitive balance that is achieved and maintained. And I'm not saying scheduling is the entire answer, but it's part of it. And again, rivalries are important. It's kind of what's made college football over the years. But in the new era, where money runs everything, your fan base has got to feel like you have a chance. Because you go through about 5 or 10 years not feeling like you have a chance, all of a sudden you're the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, and then
and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's.
The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Coach, we'll get you out of here with this. Can you describe Muscle Beach?
Well, there's a lot of talent out here. There's a couple 5-stars. And you know, one of my favorite activities is evaluating talent.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ed Orgeron on
He's
the show
an original,
yesterday.
man.
Oh, yes. SEC announcing late yesterday they're going to an SEC 9-game schedule. They'll play 9 conference games starting in 2026. So instead of 8, Arkansas is going to have 9 SEC opponents. A historic move. It's been considering for years, getting pressured by the Big Ten. Under the new format, the SEC will continue to play without divisions. Each school will play 3 annual opponents focused on maintaining traditional rivalries, and the remaining 6 games will rotate among the rest of the league opponents. Each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years, and every opponent, home and away, over 4 years. SEC teams are still required to schedule at least one high-quality non-conference opponent from the ACC, Big Ten, Big 12, or Notre Dame each season. So they've gone from, 9 big games to 10 big games when it comes to a Power 4 conference game. Here's Commissioner Greg Sankey on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
A lot of factors involved. I've talked about, bowl eligibility, the CFP, and some of the work by the CFP so far this year is progress. It's not a destination, but the honoring of schedule strength that's been communicated is really important for the Southeastern Conference. Being leaders in college football, continuing to play games against non-conference opponents at a high level in addition to the 9 games. I think that's a representation of fulfilling that leadership responsibility. That's not something that's done every place. Not everyone agrees. I'm certain that our coaches are concerned about the competitive aspect. We've got to continue to improve the selection process for the postseason. Yet when you factor that in along with our media relationship with ESPN, what we experienced from viewership last year, Paul, those are but some of the factors that brought us to this conclusion.
Is there a positive in here? Is positive or negative news? What is the big takeaway here on a 9-game SEC schedule? And the fact they still have to go play a Notre Dame.
Well, from an Arkansas perspective, I don't think it's particularly helpful. I mean, I thought the league would do it, and if the Big Ten's going to play 9, I think the SEC probably feels like they need to play 9. But I tend to think, like everything else, top of the league will get more benefit out of it than the bottom of the league.
It seems like to me, I don't understand. I need help understanding why this is necessary.
Well, he said college football playoff in the first sentence, and I think that's a big part of this. One of the things that happened earlier this week, might have happened last week and just kind of broke this week, was that the playoff committee is going to use what are they're calling enhanced metrics. Basically, it doesn't penalize you as much when you lose to a good team. And the idea is that you'll get 3 teams from the 2 major conferences into the playoff as a result of that. And so I think it's ensuring that the top of the conference is going to be playoff worthy. I think that's a big part of it.
Let's listen a little bit more to Sankey.
All right.
I will cite the work done at the College Football Playoff Selection Committee level. What I described the last 2 days to athletics directors is the CFP's made progress. We're not at perfection. The full clarity on how strength of schedule will be honored in the selection process would be important to us. We're at an 8-game schedule this year. We'll have a second opportunity to see how selection decisions are made. Paul, the opening few weeks of the college football season and non-conference games are important. That can't be understated. Those factors, the ability for the CFP to move a bit. One thing that I think I want to be clear about is we have preferred a 16-team format with kind of the maximum number of at-large slots. We think that value combined with clarity around selection is important for the Southeastern Conference. That remains.
Here's what I'm hearing. We know we're going to lose more games in this conference because you have to. You're at another game. So that's 9 more losses. 9 teams are going to win.
Still
9
500.
teams are going to lose. Still 500. But that's another loss on the schedule. And what Sankey's concern has been is that the selection committee doesn't penalize SEC teams for losing another game, meaning they played a tougher schedule, so even though they have 4 losses, their record should be stronger at 8-4 than somebody else's record in another conference might be at 9-3 or 10-2. But this has been the whole struggle of college football, is we have a subjective selection process. And before we had that, we plugged it into computers and all that, it was still somewhat subjective because the subjectivity comes from the numbers you put into the computer. Some human has to decide what the filter is. And because we don't play each other in college football, because we're competing but we don't play every team, then we all sit around and evaluate and discuss what loss meant or what win meant more. So now we've added a complication to that. We've added yet another loss to have to be evaluated. Was it a good loss or a bad loss? And by the way, this is a conversation that Razorback Nation has every year. What's good enough? What's average? What's above average? What's good? What's great? Because you're not 12-0, so how many wins do you have to feel like you had a really good season? And then we try to have a reasonable conversation. Well, you played the toughest schedule in the country, or you played the third toughest schedule in the country. And we're like, okay, well so like 8 wins, man, that was a really good year. Well, now that they're adding an SEC game and you step back and you look at it from a conference perspective, that's what the whole conversation is going to be about this league. There's a lot of points to be made here, but the subjectivity of figuring out who the best teams are and what loss is a good loss and what loss is a bad loss, that just went up.
I don't know that the average fan out there, and I guess we'll find out. I want to hear Bart's thoughts on this too. I don't think the average Razorback fan, when you look at something like this, I don't know that it's in our best interest to think, well, all right, how's this going to get us into the playoff? Let's get to 7 or 8 wins. Let's climb the mountain, so to speak. Remember when we thought having a college football playoff was going to solve everything? It's not going to be subjective anymore. They're going to settle it on the field. It's just as subjective as it ever was. This will help the top teams in our league. I mean, it will. But I don't know that it's going to help the bottom half.
That's a whole –
But fans – now let me tell you something. The average fan is going to love this. The average fan's going to love it, and we will love it as fans because it's going to be more good games to watch.
Who it's good for and bad for is an additional topic
That's right.
that I want to get into. And I know you do. Bart is in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. He's been in that room all morning. Most of his time spent there has been finagling with stuff. Well, you get it all figured out over there? Like, what's going on with the
No.
We've had
do we have issues?
Well, we had yesterday. I was working on a very important thing, Chuck. I'm in the middle of a very important thing, very, very, very important, and the internet just gone.
Huh?
Yeah. So I did what you do in that situation. I
Swore
called
out
Bart.
loud.
And then I called Bart.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Bart let me know that this is something that had to be done, and the engineer was here. And that it would be it'd be better for today. Like we're getting things, we're getting a fail safe in place.
And from a radio
a safe fail, a safe fail.
Yeah.
It's actually right.
A
That's
guaranteed
what's
fail.
really actually happening.
From a radio broadcast perspective, that is what has happened. We're great.
Everything good?
There are just a few
internal things,
hiccups.
Yeah,
it's sort of like a new rule in college athletics. You didn't know everything that was going to come with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Bart is in such a mood. He's just so over it. He's like, I don't even want to be here. I don't feel great, and I'm dealing with this crap. And these guys keep coming to me about this 9-game schedule. And an hour ago, I had a lot of things to say about it, and right now, I don't really care. Is that about right?
It sucks, man.
All right, here we are. There he is. Chevy of Fayetteville Situation.
Come on, we got to hit
Bart.
a break. We got to hit a break.
All right. And then you'll be ready?
And then I'll be ready.
Okay. It's 6:31 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. Chris in Fayetteville. You're on the news, weather, information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
Summer storms and heavy rains can sneak up fast, so make sure your gutters are ready to handle it all. Hog Trough Gutters, locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, installs seamless gutters made on site to protect your home. They're fully licensed and insured. Every job is hydro-tested, and each one comes with a 20-year warranty. Proudly serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. Schedule your free inspection today at hoggutters.com.
Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there.
Just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Things coming to the Chuck and Bo show. We had some production
Huge.
comments, like a little meeting during the break. We have big things coming. Big things. Bart, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are we doing with this 9-game
What are
schedule?
your thoughts,
and,
Bart?
Just run away with it.
Well, I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible. I mean, I think it's bad for everybody.
There he is.
I don't think it's good for a single school
I
or
can't
team.
find one thing good about it.
Nothing redeeming?
Nothing redeeming whatsoever, other than the fact that the rich are going to get richer, and that
Wound up dead.
yeah,
Just another
that's what's going to
example
happen
of
to a
being
lot
kept
of.
down by the man.
That's
Is that what
a
you're
lot
saying?
of what's going to
Wound
happen.
up dead.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's going to happen because of this? Arkansas is going to get here's like $3 more million a year from a TV deal or something like that. I don't know what the amount's going to be.
They're eating the pets.
Are we doomed? Are we doomed, Bart?
Well, I'm not going to go as far as to say doomed, but this is what I would call irresponsible leadership. I would call this irresponsible leadership for a number of reasons. And I'm looking at Greg Sankey. I'm looking at
you.
I'm looking at the SEC presidents, chancellors, like all those people, because they're the ones who ultimately vote on it, right? I'm looking at all those people. This is irresponsible leadership for a number of reasons. Chief among them is that why does anybody care what the Big Ten thinks or the Big Ten says or does or thinks everybody else should do? Why does anybody care? Greg, why do you care? SEC school leaderships, why do you care what the Big Ten does or thinks anybody should do? Because the Big Ten is responsible for most of the bad things that have happened in college athletics.
The devil. They're the devil.
They and in a lot of ways they are. The Big Ten has forever damaged the soul of college athletics. I mean, who cares what they have to say? And I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek, but not really. Like, the Big Ten is awful in terms of what they've done to college athletics. In terms of all the countless realignment, destroying conference. They destroyed the Pac-12. Let's not forget that. The Big Ten destroyed the Pac-12. Now, the Pac-12 did some of that to themselves. Larry Scott, maybe the worst leader in the history of human civilization. I mean,
wow.
I mean, he did a lot of that on his own.
Literally, the Pac-12.
They did. Although, I mean, somehow they're still alive. They just added Dallas Baptist to the Pac-12.
Wow.
I don't know what that's about, but they're going to play baseball, I guess.
So here's
here's. Do you want me? Let me bring it back to Arkansas.
Yeah,
okay.
There we go.
This is horrible for Arkansas. It's horrible for South Carolina. It's horrible for Ole Miss, Mississippi State. It's horrible for all the non-traditional power programs in this league. And it's not just the 9-game part of it, the 9-game schedule. You're going to play 10 really tough games a year, right, as part of your schedule. You're going to play 9 SEC plus a Power 4 opponent, which the Big Ten doesn't have that requirement. Hello. Maybe get on board with that, Big Ten. But
devil.
Look, you're going to play a really tough schedule. And that's part of why this is bad for all these schools. But to have no competitive balance system in place, to go ahead and do this without competitive balance when it comes to scheduling, like the NFL does, is just wrong. It's just flat wrong. And it's not fair to the non-traditional powers in the league, because now you look at the schedule every year and it's like, well, what do you want us to do? How are we supposed to cycle up and have a good year? All this means is that the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Floridas, whenever they cycle back up, the Power 6 teams in the SEC, we'll add Texas into there now. Go to the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. They're going to be the teams in charge. That's not changing. There's no way to change it now in the SEC because you refuse to embrace competitive balance in scheduling. Like, Arkansas is going to have to. I mean, look, watch next year's schedule be something like so. It'll be Ole Miss, it'll be Texas, it'll be Missouri. I can pretty much guarantee you Oklahoma will cycle onto the schedule because Arkansas hasn't played Oklahoma yet. And then it'll probably be like Alabama, Georgia, Florida. It's just. But that's the way it's going to be.
All on the road.
That's the way it's going to be pretty much every year. Like, I'm sorry, at this point, who cares about protecting all these long-standing rivalries? If you want to have 3 of them, that's fine, whatever. But the rest of the schedule has to be balanced and has to be based on how teams have performed the last year and then over the last 5 years.
I agree with that.
You
I agree
have
with that.
to do that. Otherwise, you are damaging so many schools in your league, and you're being completely irresponsible as a leader.
But they don't care about that.
No, they don't care. That's the thing.
They only
the
care
SEC,
about the top.
The SEC does not care. Greg Sankey does not care about Arkansas. He does not care about South Carolina. He does not care about Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma even probably.
Oh, he cares, just not enough.
He does not care about those schools.
A little bit.
He cares about Alabama. He cares about Georgia. He cares about
mostly
Florida.
about that.
He cares about
The
Auburn,
ones that pay the
Tennessee,
freight.
Yeah.
Texas.
He's got favorite kids.
Yeah.
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 There's 16 of them, and he's got 5 or 6 or 7 favorites.
6, 7 favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
that's the business we're in right now. And my question is that a sustainable business?
Not really.
Or is college football
Not really.
going to become a less popular sport because of things like this?
Yeah, there's no chance to have parity anymore.
Not initially.
Parity's been taken
That's
off.
true.
Yeah, not initially.
I agree with that.
There's two different subjects. From a college football perspective, I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say it's going to be great. From an observer standpoint, if all you're doing sitting on your recliner every
television
Saturday,
product.
it's better TV,
Yeah.
better games to watch.
Just not for your team.
But then you've got to look at it from my team's perspective. How does this affect us? And Bart makes points. I mean, about the competitive balance stuff, I think he's on target there. I don't know what the remedy is. I'm not going to pretend to sit here and say this morning, this is how they ought to do it.
I know what it is.
I know exactly.
You've
how to
already.
do it.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well,
I didn't realize I was.
Well, I don't know how easy it is to get to this, but this we talked about it when the commissioners were having their opening remarks at their conference media days, and what it sounded like was they were all stumping and campaigning for their conference to get in the college football playoff, and they're all fighting to protect their conference and get their top teams into the playoff so they can represent their conference. What's not happening is all of their teams having a chance to get into the playoff.
Well,
so they're just protecting this top. So what we suggested at that time was we have a power conference, one power conference, and you have a schedule like the NFL. Like, who cares about playing Florida and Alabama and Georgia? Let's play Kansas State one year. The next year you played Alabama. The next year you played some team or 3 teams from the Big Ten. We got to get out of this. Why are we playing conference schedules if this is where we're going?
I agree with what you're saying. What I'm saying is that, I mean, the SEC's got to come up with, we can talk about balance and things like that, and they can talk about it. And I agree with what you're saying. The power conference, do it like the NFL, but you've still got to put the schedule together.
Yeah.
And
get divisions.
The devil's in the details.
Yeah,
and
Bart had it figured out one day in an hour.
Yeah, well, that's
I mean, I know it's
well.
not,
I mean, look,
but it's non-traditional.
The SEC should go back to divisions.
I agree with that.
They should go back to divisions. Like that. That's what should happen. And maybe there should be 4 of them instead of 2. But then you play the teams in your division, and then the rest of the games are, which is essentially what they're doing with these 3 protected games every year, and then the rest of the schedule is competitively balanced based on how teams have performed over the past year over the past 5 years, and you figure out a formula to balance it out, but you cannot be in a situation where you're just leaving over half your league out to dry.
All right, we got to keep talking about it. We're going to hit a break. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank. We'll come back and take your calls. It's all about banking better at First Security Bank. They're about the people. They're about everybody, not just a couple people. They can help anybody bank better. FSbank.com. You can check them out online. More convenient locations all over Arkansas, helping you bank better. First Security Bank, member FDIC. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag is still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Has your roof been taking a beating after the summer we had with the heat, the sun, and those sudden storms? Teamwork Roofing and Construction knows your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside. And their expert team delivers top-quality roofing and construction services all over Arkansas and beyond. And they only use the best materials while treating every project like it's their very own. Visit their website, teamworkbuilt.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Teamwork Roofing, built on quality, powered by teamwork.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You need to run that tape back for me, because that didn't happen. Don't come at me with that crap.
Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Not up in here.
Yeah. You must have your shows mixed up. Like, that didn't happen here, pal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Caleb is on the line in Mountain Home. Caleb, you are on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning. How are you gentlemen doing?
Oh, we're here, Caleb. It's Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Listen, I just wanted to chime in about all this because it's, I've said it before. I love the SEC culture. I'm not a fan of the SEC administration at all. Bart, I agree with everything you said earlier. It's horrendous. It's bad leadership. Listen, the only thing that this is for, and y'all know this, I know this, is that this is a money thing. It's like you said, Chuck, if you're sitting down at home on your couch, there's going to be better games on, but for every individual team and the fans, this is going to lead to harder schedules, harder potentials to win, and harder potentials to have a better postseason for the college football playoff or even making it to a decent bowl game. I think about like a team like, say, Indiana this past year, how they paid all that money to get rid of, I believe it was Virginia, on their non-conference schedule. And I'm not a fan of the Indiana coach at all. He said something like, oh, we're borrowing something from the SEC. And it's like, brother, we have to, now with this, as well as playing a non-conference team, Arkansas and every other SEC team probably now has one guaranteed win on the list. By the sound of it now, unless you can manipulate that other game to maybe get a lower tier school at the time, I mean, it's going to be grueling. I don't think us as Arkansas fans have ever looked in a long time and ever saw our schedule probably since we joined the SEC and said, man, this is going to be an easier schedule. But already it's just like, this is a money thing. It's not going to help us. It's not even going to help the bigger teams of the conference. They'll do their best to give them the easier teams of the conference, but I think even Alabama, Georgia, and Texas aren't necessarily jumping for joy over this. But
yeah.
Either way, that's just kind of my thoughts on it.
It is time. It is officially time. Bart announced to me yesterday. He was in the building, and he said, well, it's time to go to the Big 12. And he's not wrong.
No, he's
That's
wrong.
been an ongoing conversation,
He's wrong.
but I'm an
No, I'm
advocate
wrong.
of it now. I'm an advocate.
I'm wrong.
I'm
on
sold.
that.
Get the heck out of this disaster.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburbans. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive. As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
So I spent yesterday, you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
These people that talk about pressure's part of life, how many of you go to work every day and there's 11,000 people screaming at you while you're trying to fill out that form? I mean, give me a break. Go to work tomorrow and let's bring 11,000 people with you to scream at you and say, Doug, you're not any good. You're great Monday through Thursday, but on Friday, you're always terrible. I mean, let's see how you do that day. Come on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night, love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
9 games, baby.
I've moved to the Big 12. I have.
You're just gonna go ahead and make the switch.
I think I'm just gonna go find me a team there to, root for or something.
Go with like Arizona State.
I don't think Arkansas needs to go to the. Yeah, they don't need to go to the Big 12 in any other sport. But in football, our team, Arkansas, should play in the Big 12. In football.
Play in any league you want.
Yeah. Well, actually, how much more exciting would it be if you had a schedule that was all over the place? Like, it wasn't just in the SEC, and it wasn't just in the Big 10, and it wasn't just in the Big 12, but you were playing a mixture of that every year in the ACC. What if we just had that?
Arkansas would be more successful.
Well, a lot of teams would be more successful. The reason we don't have that is because the teams that are the most successful, the top 10 or 12 teams, aren't ever going to allow it to happen, and they run the bigger conferences. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do about it?
Fight back.
Yeah, so today I'll meet you. Where do you want to go? You want to go to the X&A? We'll go to Birmingham, and we'll stand out in front of the league office, and we'll hold signs. We'll picket.
That's not going to accomplish anything.
But it never does.
No,
what do you want to do about it? That's my point. Yeah. Is what do you want to do? What are we going to do about it?
Well, I think that's the point. For a lot of fan bases in our league, they feel helpless. They're hopeless and they feel helpless. And now, look, there's always going to be a top and there's always going to be a bottom. There's always going to be people that have a lot and people that don't. That's just how it works.
Jesse from Springdale. We should go independent like Notre Dame. Well, Jesse, I like the idea, but there is a financial issue.
Think we could get NBC to just televise Razorback games?
Right.
Just, every game's national,
right.
like Notre Dame.
And we'll become a worldwide international brand. It's Notre Dame and Arkansas.
There you go.
Why not? I mean, dream big. Let's be independent.
As long as you're going to dream. As long as you're dreaming about things that are never going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's just go there.
Let's have Hunter. You want to make a name for yourself? Let's just take Arkansas independent. David and Cersei, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Happy Friday, guys.
Hey,
out here on the patio, this cool air, I tell you what, it is football's on the way. Let me just say real quick that Bart, everything he just said was to a word exactly what I was going to say. Wow. So I won't go through all that again. But, we're about to have some 4 lost SEC teams in the playoffs within the next couple of years, but we're not one of them, okay? End of story. And nobody needs to get upset over, the schedule's going to get tougher. How's it going to get tougher? We've only got 2 games that on our schedule you can look at and say there's a couple of wins right there. And what have we got? We got Memphis. We got Notre Dame. So nothing is changing for us. Now, the real reason I called, and you may think this is a little bit out there. I don't know why you'd think that about me, but I'm as serious as a heart attack. We got people in northwest Arkansas that have $120 billion. That's 120,000 million. That's even hard to say, 120,000 million. Let me tell y'all something. I buy lottery tickets, and I have always had this feeling that I'm going to win. Here's my pledge to you, Chuck, Bo, Bart, all of y'all, Jackson, Edward, sports fans all across Arkansas. When I win this lottery, I pledge to keep Arkansas in contention for a national championship. Forget my uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews. I'll buy a new truck, a new house. the rest of the money is going to the Hogs. And here's the deal. My motto will always be, if I'm alive, we're top 5. So all you guys that are fixing to head down to deer camp, put your single malt whiskey or Canadian Club down. When you're sitting around the fire, hold hands and say a prayer for me to win. Because if I win, we're there, buddy, every season, and that's a promise. Thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
David.
They wound
David's
up
got
dead.
his money. David's got his money spent.
That's what we said. As long as I'm alive, the Hogs are in contention.
They wound up dead.
He needs to do like Jerry Jones and get that $100 million gusher, and all his dreams will come true.
There will come a payday. Hallelujah. What a payday. There will come a
It's
payday
come down.
someday.
It's all come down to David and Cersei winning the lottery. I mean, that's as good of a solution as we've heard.
Well, I mean, you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, we're sitting around here today talking about now playing 10 Power 4 conference games, 9 SEC, and an additional P4 non-conference game. And so I think we need to change the conversation. Is 6 wins enough, or is it 5 now? Are they going to change the bowl threshold?
David
from 6
actually
to
made
5?
one really good point there. There's not much difference in playing another SEC team and playing Notre Dame. I mean, if you're,
Oh, yeah, but I
You
think
look at
people
it
were
this
wanting
year-
to maybe get away from that.
well, I
this
understand
year.
that, but
yeah.
apparently we're not able to do
But
that.
but now you're going to play Notre Dame and one more
you're
SEC
right.
team.
You're right. You're right.
Well, we kind of did that this year. I mean, we you know what we did with this schedule this year that everyone's complaining about? We're just getting ready for what it's going to be like all the time. You get Memphis in there, you get Notre Dame in there. Memphis is just sort of a 3/4 of the way step to this next game that you've got to add to your already difficult schedule.
I was speaking tongue-in-cheek earlier when I mentioned like Arkansas' schedule and what it's going to look like. But when you think about who's not on Arkansas' schedule this year, right?
Yeah.
Like Georgia's not on there. Alabama's not on there. Oklahoma's not on there. Florida's not on there. It's like if all those teams actually rotate onto the schedule next year, I don't know that that's how they're going to do it. But if that's the way it happens, then just like I think Razorback fans should just march to Birmingham. Just like
We should do a march.
March to Birmingham
There we go. A million-man march.
Light things on fire. I don't know.
Well, let's not do that.
Burn some couches.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I said light some things on fire. I didn't say burn down the
Burn down the
SEC
city.
headquarters.
Yeah, you
Bart's
start
gonna
talking
burn
about
down the
fire,
city.
I get nervous. Like, let's not bring that into the equation. We
But,
got
I mean-
Vanderbilt is also not on Arkansas' schedule this year, so that's one redeeming
and Kentucky. Let's get Vanderbilt and
And
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Let's get them on the schedule. Come on.
Man,
let's
this is.
let's keep both Mississippi schools.
All right, I got a question.
This is
I
really
got a
something.
question. What about all these protected games? What if you did away with
like the rivalry.
Yeah, what if you
Georgia,
did away-
Auburn,
The power teams won't allow it.
Florida,
man.
Georgia?
I mean, when I look at the SEC, and I really do feel this way, there's only one game really worthy of absolute protection, and that's Alabama
Arkansas,
and Auburn.
Missouri?
No, not the Battle Line rivalry.
Borderline rivalry.
Hey, if you want to have one rivalry Saturday at the end, fine. But this idea that, the SEC is going to crumble if Florida and Georgia don't play, or the SEC is just not going to be the same if Arkansas doesn't play Missouri. I don't buy that at all. Look, Arkansas is not going to play for the Battle of the Boot every year as a result of this. I don't think that's going to kill the SEC.
Well, they're going to have 3 guaranteed rivals now.
I don't
locked in.
Right, and I suspect it'll be Texas, Missouri, and Ole Miss.
Yes,
that's who I
You think it'll
suspect
be Ole
the
Miss?
3 will
Yes.
be. Yes,
Won't be LSU.
I don't believe so. No,
Do you want it to be
not particularly. No.
the day after Thanksgiving?
I mean, yeah, it'd be
back to
great,
that.
but I don't. That's more of a validation, I think, for fans. It's like, well, if they put us there, that's a big game.
Hey, here's what this means, really. Like from a Razorback perspective, like bottom line,
Bring it home, Bart.
you better beat Missouri, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Like you better beat those programs on a consistent basis. You better be better than the teams, the programs that you are historically better than. Because if you cannot do that, then you do not have a chance.
Okay.
So, I mean, seriously. If you're going to add another SEC game to the schedule, right, you're going to play Missouri and Ole Miss every year. You better be better than them almost every year. Because as a program, you are better than those teams.
Are you?
Well, historically speaking, at least.
Well, here's the thing about history.
Yeah.
We can throw all that out the window.
That's true.
Everything has changed. NIL.
Yeah.
And
Ole Miss is on a run right now with Kiffin. I suspect whenever Kiffin leaves for another job, which
transfer
will
portal
happen at some point, Ole Miss is going to cycle right back down.
So what we haven't seen yet is the transfer portal change a program. We've talked about how, like Ed Orgeron said on this show yesterday, he said the transfer portal allows you to reload, rebuild a team, fill holes immediately now.
That's a very good point.
But we haven't seen it change a program yet, meaning a traditional power falls down or a non-traditional power goes up. And I'm talking about like on any sort of, I mean, it's early, so we don't know. We don't have a big enough sample size. But even if you do it 1 year, can you get so good at the transfer portal, for example, that you become a more consistent winner because of the transfer portal, where in the past you're stuck with your recruiting class, and that's pretty much what you have. The traditional powers have always been built because they have the best recruiting basis closer to their campus.
Indiana will be a case study. Indiana last year, he brought in a bunch of guys from James Madison, where he came from. They had a little money to spend, and but will they be able to stay?
And they also played such a weak schedule. It was just a perfect setup.
I have a hard time believing Indiana is going to be a consistent power.
Look, have you Googled him?
No. I actually find Cignetti very entertaining.
I do too.
But
he wins.
Bart makes a point about Ole Miss. I suspect he's right. There will be a down cycle. Look, we went 21-5 under Petrino. That's pretty good. And we went, I think Houston had a 2-year stretch where we went 21-5. But it was not, it wasn't sustained. And that's what happens sometimes with programs that pop up out of nowhere. They have a couple of 3 good years, and then coach leaves, or you're right back where you were before. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens with Indiana over the next 2 or 3 years. They're talking like they're here to stay. I'm not quite convinced yet.
877-377-6963. If you want to get in here, we'll take some calls coming up. Bart's been in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room all morning, taking care of things happening on the show, like behind the scenes, and then making some bold statements.
Full service.
It's the first time, honestly, of all the things you've said, that I heard you call the Big Ten Satan himself.
Well, I didn't actually say that. I believe Chuck did.
I asked if they were the devil, and he said in many ways they are, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
All right, Chevy of Fayetteville, 200 vehicles right now on the lot. $199 after Chuck drove his Silverado off.
You asked me to bring it.
That beautiful Silverado, well, and you did. Like that segment, or that 3 minutes or whatever it was right there, that was gold.
Best part of the show.
That was, yes. Put that on a loop. Put all 3 minutes of that and tag all the people that he mentioned in the social media post, please. Brand new Traverses, Chevy Trax, Tahoes, Suburbans, and, of course, those Silverados. Stop by and see our friends, Mark, Chris, and Denver. You'll be glad you did. Complimentary loaners, by the way, at Chevy of Fayetteville. The collision department's awesome. The service department is impeccable. You're going to love the relationship you have with Chevy of Fayetteville inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. It's 7:16. It's Friday. Good morning.
I'm amazed at the number of people who think they're smart.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Summer storms and heavy rains can sneak up fast, so make sure your gutters are ready to handle it all. Hog Trough Gutters, locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, installs seamless gutters made on site to protect your home. They're fully licensed and insured. Every job is hydro tested, and each one comes with a 20-year warranty. Proudly serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. Schedule your free inspection today at hoggutters.com.
Macadoodles is celebrating 28 years on August 23rd, and they're thanking you with incredible service and rewards. Every purchase earns you loyalty points, and more than 20,000 customers are already enjoying the benefits. At Macadoodles, the service is like no other. They'll walk you around the store, help you with your purchases, and put it in your vehicle. They want to make sure you leave happy every single time. Check out Macadoodles just north of the state line, north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville, and see why they've been the go-to for nearly 3 decades.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
That's special.
You think you're on anybody's pickup list at school?
No.
Chuck Barrett able to pick up my kid.
No, I doubt that.
I'm going to write you in.
All right, good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Breakfast has been served. We hope that you have the most important meal of the day today. Wherever you're going this morning, school, work, both, all the things.
Breakfast changes everything.
Food is
it really
fuel.
does. It elevates the mood.
I mean, you got to get
feel
that
stronger.
You got to get that metabolism going, Chuck.
I know.
You have to. You know, it's
what I've done.
You absolutely annihilated that Chick-fil-A sandwich in about 70 seconds.
I've still got a little left.
I don't see it. Where would you put it over there? Oh, you have a way.
It's over on my huge desk.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
On the nightstand. Sterling in Center Ridge. Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. He's got a. We can't hear you very well.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, let's reestablish. Could you get on with him and reestablish this connection? That's not a good one.
Off mic.
I
think he's at work.
He is, but I could tell that the phone connection
You could tell it was wrong.
lacking.
Yeah. Well, you've got that keen ear. I mean,
Well,
that audio expert's
when
ear.
you've experienced it, and I know you have.
Yeah.
You're like, let's just try to
sounds wrong.
Reboot.
Sounds wrong.
Let's try
That's
again.
right.
We don't want to struggle through this. And Sterling, you want to hear what he has to say. By the way, I listened to the 8 o'clock hour yesterday while taking Lennox to school, and then everywhere else we went, and then to drive back and all that. A solid hour of the Chuck show, the Chuck and Bart show. It was phenomenal. That was as good an hour of radio as I've heard in a long. I'm absolutely serious. I sent a text. And Sterling was a big part of it. He had a big call, made some great points, and here he is. All right, reconnected. Sterling, go ahead.
Hey guys, sorry about that.
Oh, that's so much better.
I'm so sorry about that, guys. I was, like David said, Bart was 100% on. I was thinking about the three opponents, and I agree with y'all saying that it would be Missouri, Ole Miss, and Texas. And I made this list when Texas and Oklahoma joined the league. I picked everybody three opponents, and I was going by traditional rivals, and, in history and proximity. And the teams that like to have, according to my projections, that have it pretty rough will be Auburn with Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, they got to play No, you're right about that. You're right about that part.
And I think they'll give them, since they got Alabama and Georgia, I think they'll throw in Vanderbilt. We're going historically trying to get them a little bit of a.
Well, also you think about Florida and South Carolina. Florida's going to have to play Florida State, maybe Miami, and South Carolina's going to have to play Clemson. I mean, those games aren't going away.
Right. So, and like Bart said, I think this is a dumb move by the SEC because I feel like they gave in to pressure for no reason. They had no reason to add the ninth game. They were doing fine with the 8. They had the provision in their schedule to play a Power 4 team from another conference for your ninth game, and no other league had that mandated in their schedule. Only the SEC does. So I think it's dumb. And I mean, not to mention that it doesn't help Arkansas. True enough, but I just don't like being bullied. And I know everybody says, "Oh, you can't bully the SEC," but I feel like they gave in to all the talk to people like Nettie. You have Kyle Hurd talking about how Alabama played Mercer and they would manipulate the schedule. Just feeling like they gave in. And then quickly go on to two quick topics, and I'll be fast. First, and I say that for last. So y'all might think that's funny, might not. But first on Parsons. Parsons and Jerry. Jerry came out and said, I mean, this is all about the agent. The agent is just upset that a deal was done without him. For anybody to think that Jerry could come give a deal to Michael Parsons that is going to manipulate Michael Parsons, cheat Michael Parsons out of anything. First off, you can't do it in the collective bargaining agreement. It ain't going to be nothing to hurt the players because all you got to do is take it to the player association. They'll look through the contract. If anything that's not right, they'll just take it out. So he ain't like he was going to get over on the young man. It's just this is just his agent. Ego got involved because he's the one. I mean, of all the people into this negotiation, he's the one that's really not needed. He's the most easily replaced. It's him, and I think it's all on the agent. And I don't know if anybody heard about Serena's weight loss and all that. I just hate it. I liked how she looked before.
Who?
I think she looked better.
Who?
Serena.
Oh,
Serena
Williams. Okay.
Yeah, she lost 31 pounds.
I haven't noticed. Yeah. She's lost how much weight? 31 pounds? Wow.
31 pounds.
I haven't seen her in a while.
So
you don't like it?
You like the
No, she's using that weight loss drug,
She's on the weight
loss. I mean, she's been playing tennis for her whole life.
She's on the shot. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Bart,
she's been playing.
Investigate.
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
We'll let Bart get to the bottom of this, Sterling. Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
All right, see you.
We were like, what?
I had no idea.
I have no idea what he was talking about. Hey, I'm glad we asked.
Oh, she's like doing interviews about using weight loss medication.
Yeah.
And
Let's hear
like
it.
she's
Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to say. I can't just
Yeah, it's
I
true.
can't just
We
play
tried
it.
that before.
We tried that with Mike Tyson before.
Yeah.
It didn't go very well.
Yeah.
We meaning I did. Yeah. That was a rough one. Oh my God. Brent and Cersei, you're on the Chuck and Bo show.
What's going on, Chuck and Bo?
Brent.
Just preparing for battle, Brent.
I heard that. Well, I was just calling to give y'all a van update.
Well, we've been
that's
wondering.
Why I hadn't been on the phone. That's why I hadn't been calling. The mouth's been out studying college and high school football, been talking to all of his people. And the mouth, and since June 26th, when I got the van, I've officially put my first 5,000 miles on it.
All right, there you go.
Been covering some ground.
What are you doing to celebrate?
Getting ready to. Well, let me tell you what happened.
Well, now let me ask you, since you've been traveling around and you put 5,000 miles on that brand new van, what are the people saying? What are you hearing as you travel around Arkansas?
About the Razorbacks.
Razorbacks, high school, just in general. Put your finger on the pulse of the state. What are they talking about?
The state, the natural state is ready for some football. It's
wow.
Time. We've had no sports since.
That's all you got?
Since College World Series.
That's all you got?
And
that's all they said?
No, and they think that everybody's cautiously optimistic with everybody's real optimistic with the Razorbacks. We think we could go either be really good or have a really great season or not so good season. That we could be a better team this year and not have a better record.
Yeah. I mean,
because
do you think
the schedule's tough?
Yeah. Do you think they're going to be better? Think the roster's better this year?
Yes, I think the roster is immeasurably better.
Yeah, I talked to Tayen Green yesterday. We're going to play some of that coming up, and I think they've got more weapons on offense than they had last year. And I heard Chuck say yesterday, Brent, thank you for the call.
Hey, Brent, I got one more question.
Oh, you got one more?
You smoking in that van yet?
Oh, let me tell you that story. You ready?
Oh, here
sorry.
we go.
My bad. Go ahead.
I'm not smoking in the van, but my sister comes over. She blows in. Usually when she comes blowing in, she's looking for some kind of contraband or something bad I've done. And she says, I said, what are you doing here? She said, I just want to smell in the van, make sure you're not smoking. I said, go right ahead. She took a big gulp and said, I cannot believe it. You made it almost 3 months.
Discipline, personal discipline.
5,000 miles and not one heater in that van. That's good work, Brent.
Now I got those end patches in there now.
Yeah, I mean that
I got
works.
them lined up.
Yeah, that works.
Huh?
That works. That protects the new van smell.
Exactly, Bo, because I'm a man of the people now.
Yes, you are, Brent. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. It's always good to hear from you. Thank you for touching the heart of Arkansans.
Can I just say one thing?
I wish you would.
So I answer the phone, and on all our callers, I say, who is this? Where are you calling from? What do you want to talk about today? Brent told me he wanted to talk about the 9-game SEC schedule, and it was not mentioned once.
Well, we kind of steered him away from some of that.
Well,
that's my fault.
Time to go to Blakeman's and get a purple bag. It's Friday. You want to have a big weekend? Just go get you a purple bag, and it's undefeated. You never lose the day when you go to Blakeman's. I meant to call Ben and have Ben on the show today and find out what's going on in his world as he prepares for football season. But instead, we talked to Brent about Zen packs and what they think of football season. And throughout the natural state. If he is going to make a tour, he needs to take notes.
I know. He's got to report back.
Around, we got to get. He's got to do more. Hey, go to Blakeman's. Have a cafe B Latte, Onyx Coffee Lab right there inside of Blakeman's. It's an experience that you'll never forget, but it's really more than jewelry at Blakeman's. It's about your story. What kind of story is Arkansas going to have this year in the football season? Tayen Green, spent some time with him yesterday. We'll give you a little bit of that when we come back on the Chuck and Bo Show.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburbans. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
feel like it's kind of my duty to keep Chuck moving. And so I'm just saying, I think one more experience this summer.
I might have one. I might have one left in me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Summer's over. I mean,
Is it?
Well, I mean, summer vacation, all that stuff's over.
It still feels hot out to me.
Well, it's going to cool down next week, and then it's going to get hot again. And that brings me to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. If the summer's been rough on your AC, sometimes that happens, and you're having to think about replacing it. Right now, I know it sounds like a big investment, but Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric's making it easier than ever to stay cool in what's left of summer and save big and be prepared for winter as well. Right now, you can get up to $5,800 in total savings, 0% financing, or payments as low as $125 per month. Don't wait for your system to just give out. There are hot days left. Log on, schedule your appointment. You can get a free estimate from them. GoPascal.com. Professional people, professional service. That is the Pascal promise.
Chuck, yesterday I went down to the football facility and I sat down with Tayen Green for, 40 minutes or so, and we talked about the upcoming season. We've already done a hog pod on him. This was more about this year. So Tayen, and I thought he was as good as I've ever heard him in an interview. He was great. But before I get into that, I sit down, and where the microphone is supposed to be is a razor. A razor, like a handheld razor.
Right.
So Dollar Shave Club has come on as an advertiser on the Hog Pod. And Tayen and I had razors, I mean real, actual razors, and they had a microphone taped on the inside of it. So as I'm doing the interview, I have a razor, 6 inches from my face.
You don't want to get too close.
And I just kept thinking to myself, what happens if the Arkansas quarterback gets hurt while doing an interview? If he gets cut on this razor, like, what a story!
Anything for money. I mean, anything for money.
Just ask the SEC.
That's right.
But we executed it just fine. It was it worked out.
Flawless.
But that was a first time for me.
Yeah.
Have you ever
done
anything like that?
No, I have never had.
What would you say if you showed up, for like the Pittman live show and they wanted you to talk into a razor?
Well, I would do it, but it would be a little bit different. Yeah. That's for sure. I wouldn't get too close.
Well, it was. That's neither here nor there.
No, it's an interesting side.
Well, I just I like to share.
Mm-hmm.
I like to share.
I know you do.
You mind if I share?
Please.
Yeah. So that's what I did. Anyhow, here's what Tayen had to say about this team and maybe some improvements. What do you hope at the end of this year you look back and say, yeah, that part of my game got better?
I'll say just my knowledge, knowledge of the game and knowledge of down and distance, how much time we have, what situation it is, how the defense is playing me. It's all that, Coach Petrino has taught me. Because I used to just, freshman me, go out there, downset hut, try to throw the deepest route I can or try to throw a slant versus, cloud coverage or something. And not knowing, did the defense just get off the field? Okay, I got to, make sure this drive is a little longer. Just to give them a little rest, or just it's the little details that come with it that I'm more aware of, and that's what Coach Petrino is on me, just always being aware of the details that come with the game and that come with just being the quarterback, and that's what I would say, and just my efficiency, like you said, of not putting the ball in harm's way all the time. Sometimes take off and run and slide. Sometimes check it down. The biggest thing is efficiency and putting down the interceptions and more touchdown.
Just command. I mean, when I hear him say that, I just think, great quarterbacks have command of every situation. Nothing phases them. They understand that, our defense spent a lot of time on the field. Let's run the snap count down a little bit more than we might normally. Let's make some decisions out there that not just affect the next play, but affect the overall game. And I'll be interested to see if he can do that.
Yeah, I mean, him saying and admitting all the things that maybe were going on last year was interesting to me, that it's a point of emphasis. And he hit all the things. And, look, we've talked about it forever now in the offseason, that Petrino, year 2 with a quarterback, his record speaks for itself. And if you can't be excited about Tayen and Petrino and what that's going to look like. And they're, who knows how it'll all unfold. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I heard you talking yesterday when I was driving Lennox to school about potentially this being a 40-point per game offense.
So. I think so.
Maybe more.
Yeah. I think it's got that potential. Coaches or players generally repeat what they've heard their coach say, whether it's the head coach or the position coach. And when I hear Tayen talk about all those things he's trying to improve upon, it makes me wonder about the conversations he's had with Petrino. Because, again, players generally repeat what their position coach says. And so it seems to me like all of those things have been drilled into him, probably on a daily basis.
One of the things he said in the interview is Petrino, and Tayen said that he loved this about Petrino, never loses his edge at any time, any day, and he is at a 10 every day on delivering that messaging.
I'm sure that's true. I'm quite certain that's true.
And that's part of it.
That's part of coaching, though.
Yeah, you can't have off days.
Hey,
you're on it at a high level every day.
He's going to coach him hard every day because he feels like, and he's right. I mean, that's his job. You coach him every day. His method is coach him hard. He's always been that way. He's not going to change. He's always going to coach him hard. And, I'm sure Green's gotten a steady diet of that every day.
And he seems to have taken to it. And we talked about that in the interview as well. Dave is in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Dave, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, guys. This is Drew from Ocean Springs.
Well, that's actually what it says on the screen, but my eyes must be tired because I tried so hard to read it, turn the brightness up, everything, and I still got it wrong.
Yeah, there it is, Drew.
That's awesome.
It says it right there.
Drew.
Get my readers
I thought
out.
I typed it right.
No,
you did. You did. It's just like, I don't know. It's blurry to me. I got to get my readers on.
Hey, good
Friday.
morning, guys.
It's been a long week.
First of all, I'm huge fans of you guys and the show. Chuck, you do a great job calling the games. Bo, been a huge fan for a long time. But anyway, just want to say, first of all, that other than just being the ultimate optimistic Razorback fan, it really does feel like there's something different this year. Catching all the press conferences after the first two scrimmages, listening to the team, the way they're talking, watching Talen's just maturity, and listen to T. Will, and then, of course, Coach Petrino. I just think it's going to be a different season. Maybe I'm crazy, but I really think that we're somewhere around 8 and 9 wins, and I just think that Tayen back under center, the consistency, listening to T. Will, those linebackers that we've got, what's happening with Steven Dix, and then I think Story's going to be next level. Sounds like we're pretty deep there, and then our cornerbacks being so big and long this year, we've always had a little bit of a hard time covering on the back end, and so. I just want to call this morning and say, man, I'm excited, and I can't wait for it to get here. I think our team's going to be really, really good, and I think they're picking us third to the bottom in the conference, and I just think we're going to do a lot better than that, and I'm excited to see the team go out and make it happen. But I think Talen's going to be a big-time conversation later in the year about his play this year.
Appreciate the call,
Drew. Thank you.
Thanks for your kind words. Appreciate you listening. And, okay, let's think about that for a second. So do you think there's more people that feel that way? Like, hey, they're going to surprise some people? Or do you think we have more people, I don't know, is there 3 different categories? It's going to be terrible. It's going to be great. And then you have people they don't really know. They're nervous. They're not sure.
I think there are people that are hopeful. I think there are people that are optimistic. I think there are people that are pessimistic, probably to the nth degree on both. At the same time, Drew's saying, I think they could win 8 or 9 games. There's a texter saying they'll be lucky to win 2.
Come on. That's not even a real comment. That's such a fake comment.
So,
Nobody believes that.
It's
actually believes that.
It's kind of, I think it's sort of all over the road. And you see, here's the thing. I don't think we're the only ones like this. There's lots of programs around the country right now that don't really know what they have. And their entire feeling about this year is based on last year. But the roster is completely different than it was last year. the constant's the head coach. And for most fan bases, that's what determines your feeling.
Chuck, we are about 24 hours away from a college football.
I know we are.
Just a little over 24 hours. I'm going to walk-ons. I'm going to watch it the first half. 60 TVs in there,
Yep.
more than 60
Food.
at the walk-ons in Fayetteville. But if you're going to watch games this weekend, there's not a better place to watch a game than walk-ons. Maybe you just went out for dinner on a casual night or whatever, and they got great food. It's a great just restaurant, but it is a sports bar that's got way better food than you get at most sports bars. Bring your friends, your family, order some apps to share. Great food, great people, nonstop sports action. Walk-ons, every day feels like a game day. And while you're there, ask about Flight by Yuengling on draft. It is the next generation of light beer, 95 calories. It tastes like a Yuengling, but it's just 95 calories, and it's a light beer. Brewed from America's oldest brewery. Flight by Yuengling, 748. Good morning, Friday morning. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. That's just flat out wrong.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a pop-a-shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a Flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
this season's over, what do you hope Razorback fans think about this team?
I would say we put it on.
Everybody wants to win. When you, as a fan or a person or whoever, make everything about winning, you're saying that only winning is acceptable. And I guarantee you, you don't win every single day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rod is on I-40. Rod, good morning. Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning, guys. It's really nice out here. It's only 78 degrees for a change. I can breathe. I think I know why people aren't talking about the team and much glowing. It's just superstition. I mean, how many times you ever heard somebody say, well, he's only like 3 pitches from throwing a no-hitter, and he drives the next one out of the park? I mean, for God's sake, he's made three three-pointers in a row, and he doesn't make a three-pointer the rest of the game. Same reason I don't talk about my driving record. I got a little less than 10 months to go.
Yeah, don't do it. No. Call us back in 10 months. Call us back in 10 months and tell us all about it.
I'm going to lock the door and walk calmly away from it and go, yeah! I mean,
do it just like that
in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be gone, and I'm going to be history. And my dad loved driving. That's not me. Once you get a job and then you drive for 2 or 3 years, and all they want to do is put you back in a stinking truck. So, I'm not going to jinx the Hogs by what I really think. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but we can read between the lines. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good, and that's about as far as I'm going to go with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll leave the rest of it for Eddie. You know what I mean?
Where is Eddie?
He can. I don't know. He's off somewhere being excited.
It's time to send Eddie a text. Rod, thanks for the call. Hey, travel safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
How about Rod?
He's on the road.
He called in to say I can't say the things that I want to say.
He just wanted to say good morning.
Yeah.
He's out there on the road, man.
That's a good point.
He's keeping America moving.
He is.
He just wanted to talk to somebody.
He is keeping the supply chain moving.
That's right.
On the I-40 corridor. All right, Brandon Marcelo, National College Football writer, coming up.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like walk-ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Macadoodles is celebrating 28 years on August 23rd, and they're thanking you with incredible service and rewards. Every purchase earns you loyalty points, and more than 20,000 customers are already enjoying the benefits. At Macadoodles, the service is like no other. They'll walk you around the store, help you with your purchases, and put it in your vehicle. They want to make sure you leave happy every single time. Check out Macadoodles just north of the state line, north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville, and see why they've been the go-to for nearly 3 decades.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
We were 0-5. They put us all in the coffin. They just didn't put the nails in.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
When are the locks starting? When are Bart's
Well, it
locks?
sounds like he just has one right there.
Chuck.
Yes.
Very last page of the notes. Go to the very last page of the notes.
I never
today.
get that.
You never.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I know. This has been in here for 6 months.
Where is it?
Okay. It's at the very last page.
Gosh, dang, how
It's
many pages are there?
Okay, you see the very last line? You got
Clemson
it
minus
right
3.
there. What's the very last?
Bart's locks.
He's still got his record.
He's still got his record from last
The
year.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop! Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
We have wandered into the 9-game wilderness conversation.
We have. We've wandered into it, away from it, back into it.
Yeah.
It's ever present.
Bart had an amazing take.
He really did.
Was it the first hour? Did we finally get it out, or was it the second hour?
It was at the end of the first hour. He was fighting illness.
He was.
And you could tell that if we didn't get to him soon and get the blood flowing, that we were going to lose him.
Yeah,
we were going to lose him.
So true.
No, I'm not going to die.
Well, I didn't mean you were going to die. We were going to lose you for the day.
Yeah.
You were going to go home.
You rallied.
But you rallied.
Well,
like,
I mean,
like the
we're
champ
making
you are.
Yeah, no, you have it. No, there's a color to your face that didn't exist in the 6 o'clock hour.
That's right.
But if you want to hear,
biscuit.
if you want to hear one of the great takes on college football, the state of college football, the Big Ten,
really the world,
go listen to the first hour towards the end of the hour on the podcast or on YouTube on demand, where you can always catch the Chuck and Bo show. I'm not even kidding. I am being as serious. Am I wrong about that? He delivered a great take. We've had text all day and calls talking about how they agreed with everything you said.
I know. Ditto.
Brandon Marcelo joining us now, CBS Sports. He's got his new CBS blazer.
Yeah, do you wear that all the time,
Dry cleaned,
Brandon? Do
ready
you
to
wear
go.
that every day, or is that just for the assignments that they send you on?
I've got it in a cryo chamber.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Well, that
gonna
makes
break it out
sense.
for the game.
That makes sense.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. You should actually get in there yourself sometime. It feels great in there for 3 minutes, and then you got to get out. Brandon, we've been talking about the SEC's decision to go to a 9-game conference schedule, and we're looking at it from multiple angles, but let's start with the Arkansas angle and teams like Arkansas. What does this do to the middle of the SEC?
Well,
good question. Good
it's
question.
I'm not so certain it's very helpful from a win-loss perspective. I think that a lot of fans are going to have to start getting used to more 6-6 seasons instead of like 8-4. A lot of those programs in the SEC that have been, number 6, number 7, number 8 in the league standings, 8-4 records were pretty good. But now you're probably going to be 7-5, 6-6 because, one, the extra game. I've had people go, hey, that math doesn't check out. Well, yes, but you have that extra game in the SEC, but doing so also affects your non-conference schedule. It also affects how a team plays week to week, and you might end up getting another loss just from the strenuous schedule itself in a tight game that you're maybe would have usually won. So a lot of ways, like the NFL, et cetera, you're just going to have to get used to seasons that, that you thought would have been pretty good, 8-4, that are still pretty good, but you're 7-5 or 6-6. And that's just going to be, I think, a reality that maybe a lot of SEC fans don't realize that they're going to have to get used to over the next 5 years.
Why did the SEC ultimately make this decision?
There's a few reasons, and it depends on who you are in the SEC. From an athletics director perspective, the extra money helps. ESPN, based off my sourcing, is going to pay teams about an average of about $5 million extra a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add in potential extra TV revenue and sponsorships, because, listen, athletic directors across the SEC, they've been having to raise their ticket prices, even some concession prices, but mostly ticket prices in this new revenue sharing era. I mean, Tennessee's even added a talent fee to their tickets to help with the revenue sharing era. And you've got to have more marquee games at home. So moving to 9 games helped in that sense. Also with the CFP's new criteria with weighing more of the strength of schedule and strength of record to favor programs more, like in the SEC and Big Ten, who schedule tougher. It opened the door for the SEC to finally kind of push this across. And then also from a holistic standpoint, now most of the power conferences have the same amount of conference games at 9. The only holdout right now is the ACC, and at some point they're going to move to that direction. They're going to have to do some creative scheduling to do so, but they're going to do it. But in the end, it comes down to those few things right there. And depending on who you talk to, one is more important than the other.
Brandon, I'm interested in the timing of this. I noticed earlier in the week it was a minor story about how the football committee, the playoff committee, is going to use now what are called advanced metrics. Now that sounds really nerdy. I started reading it, and basically the gist of all that is to guarantee that the SEC and the Big Ten are going to get a 3-loss team into the playoff. Do you think what happened earlier in the week with that analytics announcement, do you think that has anything to do with the SEC given that assurance now, feeling like they can go to 9 games?
I think it helped a little bit. I think that when it came to the ADs, a lot of it had to do with the money and the realities that they're facing over the last month or two. It's one thing to talk about it back in the spring meetings, but actually start facing it and looking at the hard numbers. I think that affected things. But the timing, as you mentioned, the CFP finally putting in place these new metrics, I think actually did help push it across the finish line. A lot of things started going in favor of this going to 9 games over the last couple of months. I think it seemed inevitable. I thought it seemed inevitable for the last 2 years that the SEC was going to move to 9 games. But you had coaches speaking up, saying 8 games. We want to stay with that. To me, what's fascinating and what we're going to see in the future that I'm going to be doing a lot of reporting on is, if you guys remember, I mean, back in the spring meetings, the coaches were against going to 9 games. The coaches were also against this multi-automatic qualifier in the CFP. Meanwhile, the ADs in the SEC seem to be a little bit more on board with those ideas and were mirroring what the Big Ten executives wanted. Well, then the SEC sat down and went, you know what, maybe we need to think this over a little bit more, that the coaches are speaking up about some of these issues. And then also, I believe and know that Greg Sankey had his own opinions he doesn't share very often, but he prefers a college football playoff format without a lot of multiple automatic qualifiers. And he preferred a 9-game SEC schedule. So they waited it out. And I think what's funny when we talk about timing, that the SEC administrators were able to push this across the finish line with the 9 games right when the coaches are about to start their season, and they don't have time to speak up or push back on this.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the ADs took back control of the room in some ways, and I don't think this was all planned or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but now we've gotten to a point. What's going to make this interesting, guys, is now the CFP debate. Everybody's kind of gone against the Big Ten now. Everybody seems to want this 5+11 format instead of the multiple automatic qualifiers. But I spoke to a few ADs yesterday in the SEC, and I ended practically every conversation with, does this put that 4AQ model back on the table for the SEC to consider? And a lot of them said, I don't quite know. We still favor that F5+11, but it's going to be a little bit more interesting now when they go back to the negotiating table with the Big Ten and the other conferences and they start discussing these playoff formats again. A lot of these SEC ADs who favor the multiple automatic qualifier back in the spring before the coaches spoke up, do they say, hey, let's just go ahead and do this multiple automatic qualifier right now? The coaches aren't in their room, and this makes a lot of business sense to us, and we're going to get more money. I have my doubts that ends up happening, but I think it's certainly possible after what's happened after the last couple of weeks.
It's understandable that a lot of the conversation around this 9-game schedule centers on the college football playoff, but I wonder what schedules are going to look like, from Labor Day weekend till Thanksgiving, because the reality of 9 games is every other year you're going to play 5 on the road. I mean, you're going to play 5 road conference games and 4 home conference games. So, I mean, there's I don't know who's in charge of putting the schedule together, but we were talking earlier, you don't hear competitive balance come out of anybody's mouth, and I just wonder what it's going to look like on a week-to-week basis in the SEC.
Yeah, it seems to be in college football, college sports for that matter, we do these ideas, and then we always have unintended consequences. And that's a big one right there, Chuck. I mean, and then you're going to hear fan bases, you're going to hear coaches, complain about that year to year. And you're going to hear even at some point probably some team out there that barely misses the playoff, and it's going to be, well, we had 5 home games this year, and if we just had one more SEC win on the road this year, maybe we would have gotten in. Or what if our loss wasn't at home, but it was on the road? That's going to be something that comes up at some point. Guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. Now, as far as what the schedules are going to look like, remember, I'm trying to remember now, a few years back, the SEC was looking at the 9-game schedule and doing this same exact format with 3 permanent rivals. And there were some teams that they figured out and put it all together. And if they follow this same formula, you can probably do a pretty good idea of what your 2 main permanent rivals are going to be. But that 3rd permanent rival was based off of like a formula, which was they took the win-loss record of the last 10 years, try to match teams with similar kind of records and success or failures against each other for that 3rd game. So I know what those teams were a few years back, but obviously they would have changed now. So if they go with that formula, which I believe they will, since it just made a lot of sense, if you're an Arkansas fan, if you want to sit back and figure that out, I think you could probably do so pretty easily by using that criteria I just mentioned.
Are 3 protected games too many?
I don't think so, personally, just because, back in the day, so to speak, we used to have rivalry games that disappeared, such as Auburn versus Florida. Now, that doesn't seem like a big rivalry game, but, man, down at Auburn, I mean, when I was covering them, they always spoke highly about A-man corners, what they called it there. Coming around the bend and playing a Florida, playing in Alabama in the Iron Bowl. And then that Florida rivalry went away because of the scheduling and expansion, and they never really got it back. And even Florida fans talk about how they missed that. Now that's possible. We might get that back. So in a lot of these SEC teams, especially the ones that have been around for a while, they're finally going to get back to doing some of these, ancillary rivalries that I think that maybe a lot of people have forgotten about, but a lot of diehard fans really missed and loved, and I think that's really good for the SEC.
Brandon Marcelo, CBS Sports. It seems to me that this could be really good for a college football fan who doesn't necessarily have a team they enjoy watching college football. You just want to see good games. But then, on the other side of that, if you're not a traditional power, if you're not one of the 8 to 12 traditional powers in college football, I mean, is this good for college football? That it feels like even more difficult to have a season where you can cycle up and maybe make the playoff?
It makes it more difficult. I'm just, you're still going to see some teams, quote unquote, as you mentioned, cycle up. It's just that the teams that cycle up, they're more often than not, as I mentioned earlier, they're not going to have 8-4 seasons.
Yeah.
In their off years or down years, they're going to have 7-5 and 6-6 seasons. And a lot like the NFL, I think we're all trying to accustom ourselves and grow accustomed to this over the last 2 years, and I've mentioned it, and I'm sure others have too, that you're going to have to get used to more losses on your schedule, but also know that there's going to be more teams in the playoff with multiple losses themselves. I mean, if you follow the NFL, which most of America does, You see teams just above 500 making the playoff based off standings and everything like that. And we're moving closer and closer to that type of football in major college sports. We're not quite there yet, but if we ever get to the point of a quote-unquote super league or an even bigger expanded playoff like the Big Ten's been pitching around closed doors with a 24 or 28 team playoff, and then they start shutting out the likes of maybe the ACC and Big 12, you might end up seeing that at some point. And, you know, we talk about, not to get too deep, we talk about the Overton window, that just slightly moving and everybody getting accustomed to this. To at some point, 15, 20 years down the road, you don't realize how things really were in the past and how different they are. This is probably like the second or third step among the 15 to 20 steps that happen over the next decade or two.
All right, before we get you out of here, we've talked about Arkansas already in the preseason, but tough schedule. But they look like they can be pretty good on offense. Any thoughts on any additional thoughts from what you've had on how this season might play out for them?
Defensive line depth concerns me. Can't afford any injuries up front this year. Offensively, I went over and listened to Sam Pittman yesterday, actually, at the Touchdown Club, and he was really, really happy with the offense. This Tayen Green is so good. He said they're better at every position on offense. You know, it's just that schedule. It's very tough. And as I mentioned on the show before, I think they could beat Notre Dame. They still have questions at quarterback. They finally named C.J. Carr their starting quarterback, but they lose a little bit from last season's team. It's early enough in the year. If Arkansas's rocking and rolling on offense and the crowd shows up, that is very much a game that Arkansas can win and put itself back on the map nationally, and you get that type of momentum going down the stretch into October, who knows what can happen. But again, it's just such a difficult schedule. You can almost – Arkansas is one of those teams where I could flip a coin and go, you know what, they could be an 8-4 team this year. They also might be 5-7. But you got to win those type of games where there are some really good teams that are on iffy ground early in the year. And I know it's not an SEC game, whatever, but Notre Dame, I'm telling you, circle it on the calendar. If you can beat them, Arkansas is going to have a great season.
There we go. We got it. I'm on it. I'm with you. Brandon, great stuff.
Thank you, Brandon.
Appreciate it always.
All right, see you guys.
Have a great weekend. Brandon Marcelo, real college football, starting this weekend.
CBS Blazer.
Yeah, CBS Sports. Man, there's a lot to digest there. Hey, if you want to go to one of these games, like on the road, maybe Ole Miss, Jet Aircraft can get you there. In and out, same day. You're more than just a number with them, and you're never going to get stranded. Maybe you got to stay an extra day. Maybe you're traveling for business. They're all about customer care and service. No blackout dates if you get the Jet card. They will make sure that they're taking care of you the way they promised to on the front end, unlike some of these big national jet companies where you don't know some of the hidden fees, for example, or the blackout dates. You can fly VIP anywhere you want. U.S., Mexico, Canada, Caribbean. You pull your vehicle up to the jet right there on the tarmac. They valet your car, detail it. You got everything you need on board, food, drink, all of that. And you can take some of your friends, have a great experience for a road trip this weekend or whatever weekend. College football's here. Some people want to do that, and Jet Aircraft can provide that for you. And again, if you travel a lot for business or whatever, Jet Card, ask about that for the additional perks with Jet Aircraft. JetNWA.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. I want to see you and Bart in the old 3-legged race.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let me just...
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataract started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Has your roof been taking a beating after the summer we had with the heat, the sun, and those sudden storms? Teamwork Roofing and Construction knows your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside. And their expert team delivers top-quality roofing and construction services all over Arkansas and beyond. And they only use the best materials while treating every project like it's their very own. Visit their website, teamworkbuilt.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Teamwork Roofing, built on quality, powered by teamwork. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Who's going to be the first to get a Chuck and Bo tattoo? I mean, I think Chuck might do it.
No. You can have mine. You just get two of them.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Spent some time with Tayen Green yesterday for an upcoming Hog Pod to preview the season. And here's one of the things he said. When this season's over, what do you hope Razorback fans think about this team?
I would say we put it all on the line. Every single play, every single day, every single Saturday, we put all 110%, not 100%, 110% to every single play. You know, we come off that field just exhausted, and everybody knows that we put our blood, sweat, and tears to it because that's what we've done since January. You know, we put our blood, sweat, and tears to the chemistry of putting everybody together because it's all new. but also on the field too. And Coach Souders and his strength staff, did a great job of pushing us to that limit. So just being the most physical, tough, smartest team on that field each and every Saturday.
I asked him, I said, not about record, not about, winning a championship, not that, but what you heard the question, what do you want fans to say after this season? Chuck, talk's talk. I mean, that's what it is until you start playing a game and you see the product. But you mentioned something earlier from a previous clip in that interview about how he sounded like he was saying the things that Petrino says to him. And when I hear this team talk, and you had Sam Pittman live the other night, and I've done a number of hog pods over the summer and in fall camp, when I hear these guys talk, they're saying things that you want to hear. And I take that to mean they've got a pretty strong culture, and that the messaging that they're all bought into is what you want going into a season. Now, that won't mean anything if you get out there and get your butt kicked. But for now, it means something to me. Like, I love the demeanor that I've seen so far from this team.
If you're a player or a coach, you have to prepare for success. I mean, I don't care if everybody down your block thinks you're going to be terrible. I mean, you've got to prepare as though you think you're going to be good. If you don't think you're going to be good, you don't have a chance. So I'm not surprised by that. I was interested to hear how he wanted this team to be remembered, essentially as a fighting team. We've all been around here a while, and there are games that Arkansas loses, and you'll hear people say, I was proud of them. I was proud of them. The way they played, the way they fought. There are other times they've won games, and then you hear people say, yeah, but it was only so-and-so. And, they didn't really get a push up front. So a lot of it is how the game unfolds, how fans feel when the game is over. For example, I don't think they were lackadaisical in their game at Oklahoma State last year. They just made mistakes and lost the game. So people didn't walk away thinking, man, I'm proud of the way they played in that hot weather. They walked away thinking, man, they gave that game away. But then you may have a game where, and there have been games over the years, where they've took heavily favored opponents right down to the wire and lost at the end. And people, they're not okay with it, but they don't get mad about it because they saw what happened. They saw the effort that you gave. So a lot of it depends upon how the season plays out. But the first order of business is to follow through with all the things that they're talking about, because the things that they're talking about, if they're able to pull them off, make them a winning football team. If they can't, then they won't be.
What to watch? We've actually got football starting this weekend. It's brought to you by Macadoodles. Who what?
We do.
Yeah, we're ready to, we got an 11 a.m. kick. We'll get to all of that in a second. Macadoodles has been serving customers for 28 years with the best assortment of beer, wine, and spirits and a level of service that is unmatched. They've also got a great collection of locally sourced microbrews, craft beers, and every purchase earns loyalty points. More than 20,000 customers are already enjoying the rewards. Competitive pricing on all products. Friday through Sunday, enjoy the tasting bar with a variety of spirits, including whiskeys. And then, how about this? They've got Wine Down Wednesday. Every Wednesday, that's 15% off every bottle of wine in the store. Macadoodles just north of the state line in Bella Vista, just north of Bella Vista. And guess who? In Bentonville. All right, Bart, it's your turn. What's up?
Iowa State, Kansas State from Ireland, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning on ESPN. I've also, as I've been talking about this game this week, I've decided that Arkansas should go play in Ireland or somewhere.
You'll want to be on assignment.
Well, yeah, of course, naturally. I mean,
what time will the game kick locally?
I believe
Ireland?
5 p.m.
All
I
right.
think it's a 6-hour time difference.
All right.
There. So Iowa State, Kansas State. The Wildcats a 3.5-point favorite in that game. I kind of like
You're
the
going
other
the
side.
other way?
I kind of like the other side.
All
but
right.
so we've got that. Fresno State's at Kansas at 5:30 on Fox. Sam Houston at Western Kentucky, 6 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network. And the nightcap at 6:30. So not really a nightcap, but whatever. Stanford goes to the Big Island, taking on Timmy Chang and the Hawaii Warriors.
This will be the only time ever Hawaii's on CBS.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nationwide. They're on the Big I network.
Yeah.
Incredible.
We'll get into the lines on some of these games, and then Bart can tell us what he thinks after we talk to Zach Gillum next from Oaklawn Sports, the Oaklawn Sports app that you can download, and new customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. That's next on the Chuck and Bo Show. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Goodbye. They're leaving. They're leaving. They're mass exodus.
They're heading for the exits.
it's
Can you
awesome.
believe it?
Goodbye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, I'm so excited. We got football tomorrow. I'm going to be on the Oaklawn Sports app. There's some great prop bets on there, too. We're going to talk about it with Zach Gillen right now, Chuck.
All right.
Director of Wagering.
Let's do it.
At Oaklawn. And we're going to be at Oaklawn prior to the Arkansas State game.
Thursday.
We'll be there Friday morning doing
Friday
the show.
morning,
We're going
yes.
in Thursday, and we're going to have a big time there. And then we're going to do the show at the Mainline Sports Bar on Friday morning before the A-State Arkansas game in Little Rock. Zach, happy Friday. Happy football weekend. Good morning.
Happy Friday, guys. I'm so excited. So much to look forward to. Football tomorrow. You guys coming down soon. Travers this weekend for the horse racing fans. So there's just so much going on.
Yeah, Oaklawn.com to check out all the details. Zach, Kansas State and Iowa State kick off the college football season tomorrow at 11 a.m. Set the game for us.
Yeah, so this is over in Ireland. I heard you giving out the times and everything, so I'll skip that and I'll dive into the betting odds. So looking at this one, Kansas State -3.5. The total is at 50.5. If you're looking at the money line, Kansas State is -175. Iowa State +140.
Bart likes Iowa State. That's some pretty good value if you're going to take them on the money line, or are you just thinking they're going to cover, Bart?
No, I would expect Iowa State to win the game.
All right. What about any other games tomorrow that look interesting to you, Zach?
Yeah, so there's just a handful of them, so I figure let's just go ahead and throw the lines out for each one. UNLV is taking on Idaho State. That is at home for UNLV. They are -27 in that one. Pretty big total at 65.5. And then later on tomorrow afternoon, we have Fresno State going to Kansas. Kansas is almost a 2-touchdown favorite there, -13.5. Total in that one at 50.5. And then tomorrow night, Sam Houston at Western Kentucky, another double-digit favorite, Western Kentucky -11. Total in that at 61. And then tomorrow night, Stanford and Hawaii. That is the closest game on the board for this opening, semi-opening weekend. I don't know what they call it anymore. Week 0, week 1, doesn't matter to me. We have football. Hawaii is -1.5. Totals at 50.5.
Okay. So the tightest game. Hawaii's favored.
Hawaii's
Bart's over there nodding like, well, heck yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody
they're the
knows
better
that.
team. They're the better team. That's what I see Bart over there nodding his bobblehead.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it makes sense that Hawaii's favored. Stanford is a disaster of a program right now. And Hawaii was kind of
as a general manager.
Hawaii was kind of on the up and up toward back half of last season. Return a lot of guys.
I was kidding about the Andrew Luck, but I mean that's okay. Well, I'm for good football this weekend.
Close
I'd
game.
like to see tight. Yeah, it's good games, not necessarily good football. When you look
there
ahead,
should be some great games, and I didn't dive in. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
Didn't dive in. There are a good amount of player props on the board for that Kansas State Iowa State game. You have player passing, rushing, receiving, combination of both, touchdown scores. You have first touchdown score, anytime touchdown score, something that's very common in NFL, growing in popularity, and then some other options to whether it's the quarter, the half, game first. So who's going to score first in the game? If you think it's going to be Iowa State -105. Kansas State right now -130. You can even bet on who will have the first successful field goal. So there's a lot of options in that first matchup of the year.
all right, let's look at Arkansas season prop bets. Tayen Green's one, Mike Washington's another. What are those?
The season prop bets right now, there are some that have hit the board. I have not seen Tayen Green hit the board yet. So if you've spotted that, you've seen it before me. Keep your eyes open, though, with Arkansas playing their first game next week. Won't be shocked to see that hit the board. But we do have, it's not his own specific market, but we have to lead the SEC in passing, and he is right now 20-1. So if you think Taylor's going to have a big year throwing the ball, he is at 20-1. Now, obviously, he will have to lead the SEC. Not easy to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting bet, though, to me. I mean, I think it could happen. What about Mike Washington? And don't you have one of him leading the league in rushing? Isn't that what you said, Bart?
Yeah.
The Arkansas's new running back.
Player to have the most rushing yards in the SEC in the regular season.
Yeah. What's that at?
Correct. Yeah, and he's at 66-1 to lead the SEC in rushing.
I mean,
so an even bigger price over there.
Yeah, there's some fun odds. Arkansas still 5.5 win total.
Arkansas is still at 5.5 on the win total. Some other SEC teams that people would probably want to hear about: Alabama's at 9.5, Florida's 7.5, Georgia is at 9.5, LSU's at 8.5, Missouri at 7.5, Oklahoma 7.5, Ole Miss is at 8.5. So there's a lot of these teams. They're just right there. 7.5, 8.5, 9.5 is really that sweet spot. You have a few teams that are lower. Vanderbilt's at 4.5, Mississippi State's at 3.5, Kentucky's also at 4.5. The Texas teams, you have A&M's at 8.5, and then the Longhorns at 9.5.
Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah, that actually that's interesting.
OU 7.5.
Yeah. How about 4.5, 3.5 for Mississippi State? Arkansas's at 5.5. I think they're going over. And I think that it's been interesting the last couple of years where their win total has been. It's always it's almost like there's a little undervaluing Arkansas every year. You know, like when
I don't disagree with you.
When do they not go over their win total? You know, I think if you went back and looked, most years they go over their win total.
Where's the action right now on that? I mean, are more people saying they're going to go over or under? Can you tell?
Yeah, absolutely. So here in the state, it is the over is what we're taking the action on. And the odds have actually gotten a little better. They were, a couple of weeks ago, plus 120, dropped to plus 120. They're back to plus 120. So if you think Arkansas is going to win 6 games, you're getting plus 120 on that bet, which means for every $10 you bet, you're going to get 22 back, 12 of that is profit.
The other one that he mentioned as a win total, Missouri, 7.5, and they've got a really easy schedule. At least, by SEC comparison, they've got one of the easier schedules in the league. Zach, what else is going on at Oaklawn right now as we get ready for football season?
Yeah, so you have a lot of fun going on tonight. You have the Frankie Valli concert. You have the last pool party of the year, so that's going to be a blast. You definitely want to be there. It's a
Did you say pool party?
Yeah, pool party. We've been doing pool party with a swimsuit a DJ out there. Actually, this weekend's going to be even more fun because it's going to be DJ Wayne, General Manager Wayne Smith, who was a DJ in his past life. He's
Are you serious? That's awesome.
Serious. He's going to step back behind it, spin it up, and let everyone have a great time. So a lot of fun going on at Oakland this weekend. So that is going to be Saturday. And then Travers also this weekend. So for the horse racing fans, Sovereignty's in there. It looks like a pretty, he's probably going to run away with it, but it's horse racing. You never know. That's why they line up and run the race.
That's why they have the exacta.
Absolutely. Exacta.
Added fun.
I love it. You can find other ways to make it. I love it.
Yeah, download the Oaklawn Sports app, and you can get in on the action that we've been talking about here with Zach, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports, and new customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Zach, thanks so much. Always appreciate it.
Thank you, Zach.
We'll do it again next week.
Have a great weekend.
You too, man. Oaklawn.com for all the event details. Whatever's going on at Oaklawn, Oaklawn.com. You can find it out there.
Frankie Valli.
Yeah, I was about to say, Chuck got really excited there. Oh, what a night.
Yeah. It just kept building from there. Yeah, the pool party.
Pool party.
And DJ Wayne Smith. Man, that's cool.
That's like, you're down there.
General manager.
It's like Trump playing the hits, down there in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Trump takes over and plays all the music.
Man,
Wayne's going to take over and play the music at Oaklawn.
Dip into the mainline sports bar, watch some of the game, pop back out to the pool. It's 8:46 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a papa shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year. But replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Pascal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopascal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Pascal Price Check. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Summer storms and heavy rains can sneak up fast, so make sure your gutters are ready to handle it all. Hog Trough Gutters, locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, installs seamless gutters made on site to protect your home. They're fully licensed and insured. Every job is hydro tested, and each one comes with a 20-year warranty. Proudly serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. Schedule your free inspection today at hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday, you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck's still going to call all the games this year. We're going to listen to you come in here and be tired, and 65% of you is better than 100% of everybody else. We'll take it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, what's the housing market going to be like as we move through the rest of the year? I know they know at Weigert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're planning. They want to help you. If you're looking for a home, if you are buying a home, they're the ones to call. If you are thinking about listing your home, you want to know if the time's right, call them, find out, and then let them list your home. Because I promise you it's going to sell very quickly at the price you want. That's what happens when you deal with a real estate professional. Not someone that's doing this to pay for summer vacation, but somebody that does it every day. That's what you get when you partner with an agent from Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington, and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith, Branson. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. Bart has an announcement.
Yes, he does.
Guys, I think I found a lock.
Yeah, I actually have two things I'd like to go ahead and lock up.
Jump in there.
Okay, first of the year.
Yeah. Look, this first one is a season-long play.
Okay.
That
All right.
I've decided that I'm going to lock. And this is a team that I feel like is being undervalued a little bit by the markets, by bettors in general. The over on the win total is even plus money. It's plus 120. The under on the win total is minus 155, so more people leaning towards the under. I'm going to take over 5.5 wins for the Arkansas Razorbacks this year. And I'm going to lock it up.
Wow. Put it on the board.
Put it on the
Because
board.
besides the COVID year and the Dan Enos hire year, this team has won 6 games or more every other year under Sam Pittman. They're not going to be bad this year. To think that they're going to finish with a losing record, I think is a mistake. Because I think this is a team that is going to be in most of the games they play this year. So it's Arkansas over 5.5 and it at plus 120, and that is a lock.
Lock it in.
There you go.
Rip off the knob.
There
right
you go.
there.
That's done.
That is a lock.
I'll do it too, Bart.
Real quick, one more lock.
Okay.
Mention the Travers Stakes this weekend when Zach was on. This isn't much of a lock because the odds are 2 to 5. But Sovereignty is going to win that race by 1 million.
There will be an upset at the Travers.
Yeah.
I'm going the other way.
It's a 5-horse race. There's no traffic. Sovereignty should have won the Triple Crown if his trainer wasn't a wimp and held him out of the Preakness.
Bart's probably right on that.
It's a really good horse, and he's going to win the Travers.
You're going to get you an exacta box?
No. Yeah, well, exact is the only way to go on that.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, hey.
Bart's probably
You got to stick
right.
around for the whole show here. I mean, look, that's just a wealth of.
We have this.
Into the first hour, into the last
Get
hour.
wealthy.
That's what I am.
Yeah, yes, you are.
The betting show begins at 9.
Yes, you are. Well,
We
all
do
right, we got
special
college
bonus.
football tomorrow.
Bart's bets.
Go to Walk-Ons if you want to watch it at 11 a.m. Get you a flight by Yingling and have a heck of a weekend from all of us at the Chuck and Bo Show.
Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's. As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, because